While not all of the Stones albums have received the acclaim of Exile on Main Street or Sticky Fingers, fans and critics can be easily found exhorting the merits of most of their other 24 albums, except in one. Released on the 24th of March 1986, Dirty Work is the one album in the Stones' catalogue that appears almost universally disparaged. Driven by the supposed rift between Mick Jagger and Keith Richards over Jagger's solo career and his refusal to tour the album, the narrative has followed an unstoppable trajectory to the point it has become an accepted fact that Dirty Work is a dreadful album and by far the worst the Rolling Stones have ever released. Not only is this wrong, but it is a lazy and false reading of the elements that went into the album's creation by those unwilling to give it due diligence. Mick Jagger's attempt at a solo career had predictably caused problems with Keith Richards. Richards probably saw it as a betrayal of all they'd built and everything the Stones stood for. However, one must be careful in not overemphasising the disagreements between Jagger and Richards.
Mick, recently that you want to go on tour, Mick doesn't want to go on tour, and that's the cause of tension. Is that the case?
Yeah, but I mean, you don't do a gig like this without having fights occasionally. This one just happens to pop out into public, you know. Yeah, I thought the Stones should go on the road this year. But as I say, I'm a selfish guy. That's what I really like to do. So, I mean, I was just sort of pushing my own thing in there. But at the same time, if somebody doesn't want to do it, you know, you can't force them, you know. And because you wouldn't be doing the audience a favour or the band, you know, everybody's got to want to do it.
Whatever the truth of Jagger's impulses and Keith Richards' reaction to them, it led to the much-touted fractious atmosphere during the making of Dirty Work, to the extent it has been reported they were rarely in the studio at the same time. It's this narrative that seeps into impressions of Dirty Work, fabricating the myth of it being the Stones' worst ever album. However, with only 3 Jagger Richards compositions, the lowest since 1965's Out of Our Heads, 4 co-writes with Ron Wood, 1 with keyboard player Chuck Leavell, and 2 covers, certainly points to a loosening of their working relationship. Choice of Steve Lillywhite as producer hints at Jagger's constant nudging of the Stones towards contemporary music trends. Lillywhite was arguably the first outsider brought into the Stones' inner circle since Jimmy Miller in 1968. Known for his work with post-punk and new wave acts, Lillywhite believed in the importance of space in the music and a democratization of the separate instruments. He felt his job was to create a unique sound world that the listener enjoyed being immersed in, even if the music is harsh or uncompromising. Recorded at various sessions throughout 1985 at Pathé Marconi Studios Paris, RPM Studios New York and Right Track Studios New York, Lillywhite gave Dirty Work a modern contemporary sound, not by filling the recording with those awful 1980s gizmos and gated drums, but by employing the techniques he used on albums such as Susie and the Banshees' The Scream, U2's Boy in October, and XTC's Drums and Wires. Albums that to this day still sound vital, vibrant and timeless. Not that the Stones were unrecognisable. The first single from Dirty Work, a cover of Bob and Earl's Harlem Shuffle, is classic Stones territory. Any disappointment at the lack of a Jagger Richards original is sated by its addictive, dirty, low-slung groove. Dirty Work has a spectacular killer guitar sound throughout, and its introduction on opener, One Hit to the Body, is striking in its impact and clarity. With 2 solos from the uncredited Jimmy Page, it inexplicably failed to chart in the UK when it was released as the album's second single. Never does Dirty Work reveal the lethargy and neglect it was damned with by critics at the time. The album fizzes with energy and intent, and rather than a band in crisis, Dirty Work parades the Stones' unwavering musicality during an era when such things had lost currency. Mick Jagger's vocals on Dirty Work are extraordinary, performed with a barely controlled aggressive and manic urgency. There's definitely no sense of going through the motions of recording another Stones album.
I mean, I was there, I did it, I mean, I was really looking forward to doing it. I mean, the fact was, it was really a bit long in the making and wasn't always that great fun, but I mean, I think the actual album is really good.
What strikes now, looking back nearly 40 years, is how the zeitgeist pervades Dirty Work. Hold Back, Winning Ugly, Dirty Work and Back to Zero read as a commentary on the conceits, attitudes, qualms, fears and rampant capitalism emerging in the 1980s. On the 12th of December 1985, Ian Stewart, a Stones founding member, road manager and pianist, died suddenly of a heart attack. As tribute, Dirty Work closes with a short hidden track of Stewart playing Big Bill Broonzy's Key to the Highway. Let's not get carried away. Dirty Work is not the Stones' finest hour. But it's not the unlistenable disaster of myth and hearsay. It is a tough and uncompromising album that finds them inadvertently commenting on the times it was made in, with a powerful sense of cohesion and purpose.